everyone. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. We've got a good one on tap today, and there's going to be two quarterbacks ready to get it done on the gridiron. It's the Buccaneers going up against the Steelers. So let's get you up to the Steel City. Standing by in Pittsburgh, here are Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, EA Sports coverage of the NFL brings us to the steel capital of the world, Pittsburgh, PA, and Heinz Field. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. On 1st and 10, it's Roethlisberger. To the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. This offense has some speed, and certainly Martavis Bryant, he has some speed.
He has that, and he has size. That's what makes him so difficult to cover. Because just when you think you have to play him one way, the other attribute kicks in. Martavis Bryant could be an all-star real soon.
On the defensive side of the football for the Bucs, here's the lineup. You know, you look at last year, 2016, 23 points a game, right in the middle of the league, but improved, I think. How do they look going forward?
Well, they did improve, and they improved throughout the second half of the year. They focused on communication. They cut down some of the stuff they were doing defensively, made it simpler, and they played a lot faster. Look, Gerald McCoy is a terrific player on the defensive line. You got linebackers that can run in Levante David and Quan Alexander. And I thought that Keith Tandy really emerged as a safety for them down the stretch and made some big-time plays.
Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there. If he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback that has to slide and find open space to throw.
And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield. In 12 regular season games this last year for Bell, averaging over 150 yards from scrimmage. First 2 games in the playoffs were great, but, you know, getting injured in the final game probably leaves a bad taste in his mouth.
Leaves a bad taste, gives him few.
And he lost the football, and it's picked up by the Buccaneers. And they will set up shop at their own 46-yard line. And without a doubt, not the way they pictured that opening drive unfolding.
No, they were making progress. They weren't exactly in high gear, but they were making a few yards along the way. And now that they've coughed it up, you got to go back to the sidelines and regroup a little bit.
The first carry now for Doug Martin. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. And, Charles, I know Ryan Shazier, who made that tackle, a youngster you like a lot.
I love him, and I liked him a bunch coming out of Ohio State, because the more this game leans towards speed and less on bulk, that's where Ryan Shazier excels, because of his ability to run down plays. If anything goes away from him, he'll chase it. A lot of the time, he can run with tight ends, running backs downfield, and pass coverage. That only helps his outside linebackers like James Harrison and Bud Dupree get to the quarterback. A monster 2016 from Mike Evans. His Buccaneers did make the playoffs, but wasn't because of his production. Led the league in targets and was in the top 5 in many other receiving categories. What a big-time year for him.
Now, 4th in yards, 2nd in touchdowns, just outside of the top 5, 6th in catches. So he's going to be a handful for teams in the future. I mean, he's got a long career ahead of him.
A long career ahead of him, and look for him to increase his yards after catch as he moves forward in his career.
And they'll send the tight end in motion. Now a play fake here on 1st down. This complete to Josh Huff. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. So there on that play, offensively, they ran the crossing route. Defense was in zone coverage. So as a former DB, How tough is it to defend that?
It's really difficult because your natural inclination is to chase the receiver and maybe leave your zone. So you have to have discipline in order to talk to your other coverage guys and let him know that that receiver's crossing from your zone to the next zone. He's coming your way. Make sure you have him. And then when the ball is actually thrown, secure the tackle. When they're moving on crossing routes, if you miss a tackle, it usually results in a big play.
First out, here's the run with Martin. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a really nice 15-yard pickup, and now it's first and goal.
How many times do we say in this game that speed kills, and it does it in so many different ways? In this case, you got a back who's quick and shifty, can make moves, make people miss, but also gets to and through a hole before it can close down. That's some of the benefits of that speed, not just outrunning people in the secondary. And that led to a really nice gain.
The first carry here for Jaquiz Rogers. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Jaquiz Rogers, a 3-yard touchdown run. And the Bucs have taken a first-quarter lead. Roberto Aguayo now for the point after. And that one gives the Bucs a 7-0 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Steelers offense gets ready to get back onto the field. And last time the turnover on the fumble, and they were in enemy territory, so that had to be very frustrating. Down on the scoreboard here, can't do it again.
You nailed every part of what was frustrating. Down on the scoreboard, had a drive going, had pushed it past the 50-yard line so they thought they were in striking distance, and to come away with nothing, not a good feeling at all, to put it mildly. Now they can't.
Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jude I.J. Barima. So the ball switches back over to Tampa Bay, and as they get set in place on offense, Charles, talk about the running game and the O-line, where they stack up going in next year, because Doug Martin was only active for 8 games this last season. Rushing total dropped down to 400 yards, basically.
Yeah, they were fortunate they picked up Jaquiz Rogers during the year, and he gave them some nice games throughout, but I start with the offensive line. They've got some good building blocks. Left tackle Donovan Smith, guard Ali Marpet. Great places to begin. I think they'll continue to try and fortify that offensive line because that will help whoever becomes their primary ball carrier.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. On 2nd down, Martin. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
One thing that's really difficult for an offense is often identifying how to block a 3-4 defense. Well, when they're coming on a blitz, even more difficult. They're elusive targets and hard to hit.
Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the 2nd quarter. They'll come up on a 3rd and 4 here to start things out. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. Throwing, Winston. He's got Evans. And he's going to have a first down here as he gets this one to the 17-yard line.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
They'll run it here. This is Rodgers. It's a pickup of 14 there. And the Buccaneers are going to have a 1st and goal.
I love when a play results in a game that I can actually kind of fall back on one of my favorite adages, and that is anytime there's a run over 10 yards, it means that the offensive line did its job, but you know who else did? The wide receivers. Because the first 7 yards kind of belong to the offensive line and the running back. And
Evans hauls it in. Touchdown, Bucs. Mike Evans from 3 yards out. And the Buccaneers here finding a way to stretch their lead. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jude I.J. Barema. And he'll bring this one back to the 29. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
Following the interception, Winston. And Brate, the tight end's got it. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
So they complete the pass, and now they face a 2nd down. In motion, the tight end. Winston with a give to Martin. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. In a 3-4 defense there and against the run, a lot of responsibility can fall on that nose tackle.
A ton of responsibility, no pun intended, because they got to deal with not just the center, both guards, and a lot of times they have to eat up double teams in order to let the rest of the guys get to the football. But how about that play? He not only did he eat up the double team, he ate up the ball carrier as well.
I was going to say, talking about puns, you said eat up the double team. Winston under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Well, they go play fake. The problem is nobody was faked out.
And when no one's faked out, what's the end result? Quarterback gets hit.
So on 4th down, here's the Buccaneer place kicker, Roberto Aguayo now. And quite a bit of pizza in this box. It's a 53-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And the lead will grow. It's now 17-0. So after the pick, they can't capitalize for 6, but they do get 3.
And I know in this situation, most of us wanted to focus on the offense. You know what side of the ball I played on. Let's give that defense a lot of credit. Taking it over in a sudden change situation and shutting them down.
And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. And last time, 1 play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play calling. Because a 1-play drive where you throw an interception, a lot of people think the very next time out, run the football, don't give them a chance.
Maybe play action.
I think maybe you go play action, show your quarterback, get a little confidence in him, and let him fling another one.
All right, different topic here. 2018, the Super Bowl, traveling north, far north to Minneapolis. Early predictions for that one. Who you got?
Well, you know, everyone's still waiting in the NFL for a home team to play in its home stadium, right? So could the Vikings be that team? I'll start in the NFC, and I'm going to say no. I think Seattle starting to get near that maybe last run with their defense. But Earl Thomas returns. I like Seattle coming out of the NFC. How about you?
Well, I'm actually going to take a Dallas Cowboys NFC title run. I think that they came so close this year, probably most talented going into next year.
I like that one. Well, in the AFC, I'm going to go with a team that if they improve their defense and their quarterback stays healthy, they could be that team, the Oakland Raiders.
Okay, I'm going dark horse. Cleveland Browns. Let's go.
Hey, from worst to first.
Roethlisberger will stay out there, and they're going to go for it on fourth. And we've arrived at the 2-minute warning here in half number 1. And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. Here we go on 4th down with Roethlisberger. And it is incomplete. A surprising move to go for it. Predictably, at least somewhat predictably, it doesn't pay off. And boy, possession here turns over with a football already being in the red zone. And a great spot to start this drive from here. They come out here in the eye. Winston gives to the tailback, Martin. And he's got this one down to the 10. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. Just 1 yard to go here on 2nd down.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
That was an example of excellent defense there. They stuffed him. So now he brings up a 3rd down situation. If I'm calling plays here, I make sure I put in the hands of my quarterback and get it to a receiver real fast. I'm not running the ball here.
And he gets the 1st down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the 1st down.
And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is, and really a lot of the time they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
And he hauls it in for the Buccaneer touchdown. Cameron Brate, a 5-yard touchdown. And the Bucs are going to add on to their lead.
Heard a coach talk about those late-in-the-half scores, especially ones that give your team a pretty decent cushion. He says those could be the ones that can finish off a squad if you let them.
Yeah, they've got the cushion. This half has been theirs. The Bucs ready for the kickoff. And here we go. It's in the air. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. And the Steelers set to take the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half.
And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Robert Ayers in there to get him his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. Now Roethlisberger to throw on 2nd down. He's got time. Trying to lay one up deep. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now. Antonio Brown, the intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
And when all else fails as a defender, when you're not there in the coverage, your best friend is exactly what we saw there. A big play shot taken by the offense. Unfortunately, it ended in a big drop.
And Bryant's got it over the middle. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. That's it for the first half. 2 more quarters to go. We'll have plenty more to see after the break. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Out come the Buccaneers. They'll have it first to start the third quarter. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. The third quarter starts with a run by Martin. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. So what will they do? On the ground, through the air, let's see. 2nd and 9.
Tough day, tough sledding right there, and it's been that way the entire game. Not a whole lot of room to ramble for him.
Yeah, you're right. It's been that way all afternoon. Didn't get a whole lot better there. Cameron Hayward in on the tackle.
You know how we get focused at end of the half and into the game situations about how much time's on the board and, you know, what you need to do? Sometimes you don't have to worry about that. That's just smart football. You know, that kind of a lead, staying in bounds, it burns clock, even in a situation that we're not really focused on it.
That one good for 16, and the drive will continue.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage, and they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time, but the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission. Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things, but the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
Play clock winding down. To throw, Winston. And that one is incomplete. He just dropped it. But they're up big on the scoreboard, so maybe he can chuckle about later.
I know tight ends love this route because a lot of times they'll fake a block first and get a little bit of space and then come across the middle because in their mind, they're thinking catch the ball and then drop the hammer on the little guys in the secondary.
Unable to drop the hammer, he just dropped the pass. Humphries goes in motion. They go play action. Winston. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And that brings up 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now. And the way this offense has moved the ball, he hasn't been needed till here in the third.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance really to set the tone here in quarter 3.
They can really take charge, can't they? And
Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Jude I.J. Barima. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it? Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles?
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it's against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. The linebacker Ryan Shazier there to make the tackle.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Now a run with Martin. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a 3rd down. 3-4 defense, usually here you'll see the linebackers come up, make those plays, but the nose tackle also vital.
That was so vital because what you just pointed out, normally he eats up blockers that allows the linebackers to get to the ball carrier. In this case, he did his job and then some, and there was no gain at all for the runner.
They'll need to get the play off quickly. Jameis to throw it. Complete, he finds Bray. It's a 10-yard gain there, and it sets him up now 1st and goal.
And in a lot of ways, that catch is expected. Red zone presence, and that one was realized there. You've got to find your tight end in that situation.
One receiver to the left is Evans. Here's Winston. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. And he's in. Touchdown, Buccaneers. Doug Martin taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Bucs capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. And his kick is right through. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20.